Power's off. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Did you see that double vertical roll? And then it just...
Welcome to ground control. I've got my Volantex PhoenixS out here. I'm getting ready to take it back out in the field and put some more flights on it. I only got a couple of flights. I got the maiden flight in +1. I don't know if you guys have watched that video or not, but if you have, you know that I have another exceptional flying sport glider in this PhoenixS, and it's set up with 3S power. The plug and fly, and I think the ready to fly version come as a 2S power system. This one has got a 3S power system. It has the motor and prop assembly from the Phoenix V2 in it, and I also put one of my Hobbywing Skywalker 50 amp ESCs in it. I did run it up at full throttle to check the power pull on it, the power usage. At full throttle, it's pulling 21.7 amps, and at 50% throttle, it's only pulling 6.4. And you can cruise this around at about 40-45% throttle. My guess is cruising around with that throttle setting, you're only going to be pulling about 5 amps out of it. It pulls vertical very, very well. Now, I didn't have as much fun on my maiden flight +1 as I would have liked to have had on this, but oh, and I also have the Byme-A gyro in it, and it works absolutely fantastic, the sport glider. But I didn't have as much fun as I wanted because I only had time before I took it out to balance the props. So I got the props balanced, and it was pretty smooth all the way up to about 90% throttle. But between 90% throttle and 100% throttle, it had quite a bit of vibration in it. And I didn't have time to balance the hub before I took it out that morning. I was setting all this up the previous night. The motor that I originally put in it didn't work out because it had a bent shaft in it. I didn't realize it, so I had to switch everything around. But now I have the prop balanced and I have the hub balanced, and so now it's nice and smooth through the entire throttle range all the way up to 100% throttle. So I'm going to have a lot more fun with it this time out than I had with the maiden flight, because when I was performing the maiden flight, I tried not to go over 90% throttle because that vibration is really bad for the airframe and the power system. So I tried to keep it no higher than 90% throttle even when I was pulling aerobatics with it. So I'm not going to have to worry about that today. But I couldn't figure out what was going on, why it was out of balance, because this is the power system that I had on the Phoenix V2. I stole it out of that aircraft, put in this one, and I ordered a replacement motor from my V2 and 2 additional hub and prop and spinner assemblies for it, so I'll have 1 spare. But I think what had happened, because I didn't have a vibration on the V2 all the way through the throttle range, it was nice and smooth. I think the last time I had the V2 out on my last landing, that the spinner contacted a rock. That area where I have to land, there's some big, huge rocks that are embedded in that hard pack. Some of them are sticking up out of the ground pretty high. So I do my best to avoid that stuff, but you can't always avoid it. So I'm assuming that that spinner contacted the top of one of those rocks and it abraded one side of it pretty good. So then I knew what was going on. It took me 3 strips of red vinyl tape on that light side where the spinner had been abraded by the rock to get it all balanced and smoothed out again. So it must have scratched out quite a bit of material off of that spinner to put it out of balance that much. But I'm happy now that I've got it set up and it's nice and smooth. There's no vibration in the power system. So let's take it out and put it in the air. I've got my timer set for 8 minutes, and the way I was flying it on the maiden flight, I still had a little bit over 3.8 volts per cell, using my 3S 1500 milliamp hour 35C nano-tech Lipo. So it looks like the way I'm flying, mixed mode flying, I wasn't doing a lot of gliding. I had power on vast majority of the flight when I was out for the maiden flight. So mixed mode flying, where you're hard in the throttle part of the time and then just gliding around part of the time, I could probably get about a 12-minute flight time, leaving between 3.6 to 3.7 volts per cell with just that little 3S 1500 milliamp hour Lipo in it. And I have plenty of room to move the battery forward and aft. I could put a larger battery in it if I wanted. I could put a smaller battery in it if I wanted. So anyway, I'll see you out at the field.
Launching. Okay, I've got it in safe mode. I launched it at 60% throttle. Okay, now we are in wind mitigation mode. Big huge loop. Split S. Power's off. Oh, that is sweet. Power's still off. Power's on. That pulls vertical pretty well, doesn't it? Yeah. I think this Phoenix V2 motor is going to work absolutely fantastic in this. Oh, power's off, by the way, after I completed that loop. Alright, power's on. Power's off. Power's on. That pulls vertical very well. Power's off. Using a little rudder, a little aileron. Power's still off. Alright, power's on. Isn't she a beauty? I'm loving this sport glider. Flies like the V2, but more aerobatic than the V2. Power's off. Power's on. Power's off. That was a power off split S. Power's on. That is so cool. Power's off. Power's still off. Power's on. Power's off. Power's on. Power's off. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Did you see that double vertical roll? And then it just stopped at the top. I cut the power, and the power's still off. I cut the power, and it just floated right over the top. Did you see that? All right, power's on. That is absolutely amazing. Power's off. Power's on. I just can't get over how maneuverable these sport gliders are. I love my PhoenixS V2, but I think for me a 1.6 meter or less sport glider is what I like because they're so aerobatic. Power's still off. I'm getting a little better with my turns and not killing so much of tractoring up so much of the energy. Man, that is just so awesome. Power's off. Power's on. I'm just in awe of these guys. I've said it before, but man, power's off. They are just absolutely amazing to me. Alright, power's on. Look at that. Look how maneuverable that is. It's a 1.6 meter. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Whoosh, whoosh. Swoosh. Power's still off. Alright, power's on. Look at that. Look how it pulls vertical. It just defies gravity. I'm loving it. I want to thank Jono Edwards again for pointing me to this. Pointing me to the sport glider. This is awesome. Power's off. Swoosh. Power's on. I'll tell you guys, this Byme-A gyro in this is working absolutely fantastic. Power's on. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna put a Byme-A gyro in my Crescendo Evo. I am going to put one in my V2, PhoenixS V2. Look at that. Awesome power with that PhoenixS V2. Power's off. PhoenixS V2 motor and prop. Alright, power's on. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. I don't know how long I've had it in the air. I can't remember if I reset my timer. Sometimes I forget to do that. Leave my transmitter on and forget to reset my timer. Let's see if we could tractor it around and bring it in and land it. I put it down in a scrub. I slowed down too much, didn't get over the road, put it down in the scrub on an earlier flight, and knocked my darn wing protectors off of it. I'm gliding now. Let's see if we can set it down. I'm going around. Too much speed there. Alright, let's see. I have a hard time getting these sport gliders on the ground, guys. I have a hard time getting them on the ground. There we go. I almost dropped it in the scrub again. Oh man. Oh, and I knocked off my taped on wing protector. Let's see if I scuffed up my wing. Now that looks good. Alright, well, it looks like that's going to be my last flight today. I've got, I think it was just my second flight. I've got put some better glue on these wing protectors. My skids are holding up just fine. But if it gets a little lateral movement, it's pulling my wing protectors off. So I'm going to have to use some epoxy or something. I don't know. But is that a fantastic sport glider, or is that a fantastic sport glider? Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.